Good morning, and thank you very much for being here. A very warm welcome to you all here in the room today and to all of those who are joining us online. For those of you who might not know me, my name is Aideen Hartney and I'm the Director of the National Disability Authority, and I'm really delighted to welcome everyone to this year's hybrid NDA annual conference. For those of you who might benefit from visual description, I am a kind of short female with brown hair that's tied back at the moment. I'm wearing a grey dress with some kind of light coloured pinstripes through it. As you all know, our conference this year focuses on Article 23 of the UN CRPD. We have prepared a jam-packed programme for you today, and I hope you will all come away with both a better understanding of this important provision of the Convention and ideas as to how we can all work together to realise the equal right of disabled people to family life in Ireland. Before we begin, I'll quickly run through some of the housekeeping details for the day. Please bear with me because there is a fair bit of information coming up. For those of you who are present in person, in the unlikely and unfortunate event of a fire, you will please exit downwards via the stairs. They're on both my right and my left to Lansdowne Road, and the evacuation assembly point is beside Elvery's shop. There are toilets located down the corridors on both my right and left, and in each case there's an accessible toilet. We also have a changing places toilet just outside the main entrance downstairs, which you will have likely passed on your way in this morning. And if anyone is using the car park facilities here at the Aviva, we have vouchers at our registration desk on the ground floor, or alternatively, please inquire with an NDA staff member, all of those who are wearing pink lanyards like this one here. We're joined today on my left by Irish Sign Language interpreters Ciara, Michael and Leah. They'll be swapping in and out, and they are all very welcome. And there is a screen with captioning provided by PCR on my right. And there's also a quiet room at the end of the corridor on my left for people who may wish to use it. It's room number 417, and it's just a little bit past the toilets, which are on the far side of the coffee area. If you need support to direct you anywhere, please ask any Aviva or NDA staff member. And as those of you in the room know, we are using social interaction stickers today, and we'd encourage you to take account of these when you're engaging with other attendees. For those joining online, to control the ISL interpretation, you can use the interpretation icon that looks like a globe on the bottom of your screen. On some screens, it might be under the More button. And if anyone joining us remotely is experiencing any technical difficulties, you can use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen to alert a member of the NDA staff, or you can email nda.annualconference@nda.ie, because this is the same email address you would have received your conference link from. We'll have staff monitoring that email address all day, and they will be available to assist you. We've incorporated a question and answer session after each panel discussion. During the Q&A, we'll take a mix of questions from the floor and from online. So if you are participating online, please use the Q&A function. Please note you will not be able to see each other's questions, as this can be disruptive for those using a screen reader. And for those in the room, we will have roving microphones. Please wait for the microphone before speaking so that the people online can hear you. Before posing a question, please state your name and whether you are part of an organisation. We also have Paula as our photographer with us today. And please note that photos taken at today's conference may be used on our website, our social media profiles, and in future NDA reports. So if you don't want your image to be used in that way, please politely just let Paula know. We are recording the conference for people to access after the event, and this will be made available on the NDA website and our YouTube channel in the coming weeks. As this is a Zoom webinar, the names and faces of online attendees will not be visible in the recording, but people attending in person who ask a question as part of a Q&A session will be recorded. If you are on social media, I would encourage you to post about today's event and to use our hashtag, which is hashtag NDA Conference 2025. And we're also delighted to have stands from the HSE Disability Quality Improvement Team and the Disability Participation News Hub, which are down the corridor to my left. So please feel free to chat to these teams during the breaks, because I know they would love to talk to you. And now, without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the chairperson of the NDA, Kathryn O'Donoghue. Kathryn has served on the authority since 2018 and was appointed chairperson in September 2022. She brings a wealth of experience to this position, including over 30 years of extensive leadership experience in the business sector and senior positions in companies such as Google, General Electric and Ernst & Young, as well as experience of being a supporter for her brother who had an intellectual disability. So welcome, Kathryn. The floor is yours.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Aideen, for that kind introduction. I am really delighted to welcome you all to the National Disability Authority's Annual Conference 2025. This year's conference is the 6th in a series where the NDA has examined a particular article of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability. Today, we will turn our attention to Article 23, which addresses respect for the home and the family. Article 23 is a fundamental provision. It recognises that people with disabilities need to be empowered not just in the public realm, such as in the spheres of employment and education, but also in their private and personal lives. A meaningful life for many people includes connections and relationships with others, both romantic and platonic. That is true also for people with disabilities. We have an exciting programme ahead, as Aideen said, where we will explore the barriers faced by disabled people in realising their equal right to family life. But today is not just about highlighting issues, it's also about identifying solutions. And as such, we will hear about proposed enablers for good practices, both from Ireland and abroad, which can support and empower disabled people to have meaningful and healthy family lives and relationships. We are meeting today at an important juncture for disability rights. We expect the UN CRPD Monitoring Committee to publish its list of issues in relation to Ireland in the coming days. These are the issues that the UN thinks are the most important for Ireland to address. We now have a framework to address these issues through the new National Human Rights Strategy for Disabled People, which was launched last month and sets out how the UN CRPD will be realised over the next 5 years. I want to commend Minister Foley, Minister Naughton and our colleagues in the Department of Children, Disability and Equality for their efforts in steering this strategy to publication. We at the NDA look forward to working with you to progress its implementation. As many of you here today know, the NDA assisted the Department of Children, Disability and Equality with a national public consultation to inform the development of that strategy. And this included targeted consultation with disabled women and LGBTIQ+ people. You won't be surprised to learn that issues relevant to Article 23 featured in the consultation, the report of which is now available on our website. For example, we heard from a disabled father about the difficulties he faces attending his son's sports games due to a lack of personal assistance and transport services. And we were also told about the children of deaf adults having to interpret for their parents when they visit a doctor. We heard calls for the delivery of inclusive sex education in schools that includes ways of making intimacy accessible for all. In short, the lived experiences of disabled people in Ireland tell us that there is still a journey to go for Article 23 to be realised. As such, today's conference is an important step in building awareness of the measures that are needed to effectively address these challenges and to uphold the Convention. For our part, we recently published a review paper on Article 23, which provides detailed information on legislation, policy and statistics in this area. We have also carried out research on the experiences of women with long-term disabilities, illnesses or conditions in their journey through the maternity services in Ireland, which you will hear more about later this afternoon. We also have several pieces of ongoing work relevant to family life. We're conducting a review of the Children's Disability Network Team Service Model at the request of the HSE, and we're also undertaking research on best practice in supporting families and young autistic people and other people with disabilities who have high support needs as part of the Autism Innovation Strategy. In addition, we are currently preparing our second report on the operation of the Irish Sign Language Act 2017. As part of this, we're seeking feedback from ISL users and family members on access to public services and entitlements through ISL, and have commissioned a consultation with deaf children. Finally, we're undertaking research on the experiences of people leaving wardship as they transition to a new system of decision-making supports with greater choice and control over their own lives. If you're interested in any of these pieces of work, I would encourage you to talk to an NDA staff member today or in the coming days and weeks. It would also be remiss of me not to mention our work in promoting universal design. Our Centre for Excellence in Universal Design is dedicated to enabling the design of the built and digital environments that can be accessed, understood and used regardless of a person's age, size, ability or disability. By adopting universal design, we address the barriers that can hinder the participation of disabled people in family life. Lee Shanahan, a student from the University of Limerick, demonstrated this to great effect only 3 weeks ago, actually right here in this room. Lee was the main winner of the 2025 Universal Design Grand Challenge Awards, a competition that promotes excellence in third-level students' projects that feature solutions that will work for everyone. And so, to address the challenges visually impaired women experience interpreting their pregnancy tests, Lee designed a universally accessible pregnancy test that delivers results through 3 sensory channels: touch, sight, and sound. Her project highlighted how universally designed products can improve accessibility, promote autonomy, and empower disabled people, including by enabling them to independently discover whether they are pregnant or not. Before concluding, I want to take a moment to share that this year marks 25 years since the establishment of the NDA. The organisation has a unique position within the disability landscape, and I am immensely proud of its contribution to advancing a vision for a fully inclusive Irish society. Over the years, we've seen our research and our advice translated into new policy approaches, strategies, and action plans. Our practical guidance has facilitated the creation of more accessible environments, products, services, and our monitoring work has delivered improved outcomes for disabled people. As we move into our second quarter in operation, I'm confident that we will continue to build on our strengths and will work to influence and impact change across the many areas affecting the lives of persons with disabilities. And now, it gives me great pleasure to open today's conference, and I'll hand back to Aideen to give you more information on our first session.